Hello, everybody. Party people and non-party people alike. Let's see, what do we got up here? What do I have on my screen that I shouldn't have on my screen? Plenty of things. Let's see, mic check. We're all good. All right. So today, we're going to work on this illustration. I'm doing a series of illustrations for a blog post, and have decided the blog post utilizes a Looney Tunes analogy. So I'm doing all the illustrations for it in the style of kind of like classic title cards. So this is one. I already started working on one of them. The type is TBD, but this is kind of the general vibe. So made this one, and then I will make the Western one that we're making today. I'm just going to go ahead and save this one, and then save it as the new file name. Coyote references, mostly. Let's see. Cold, hard creativity. Tivity. Also, I have, as we continue our never-ending venture towards ultimate transparency, I have a 3 o'clock meeting with IGN. And since I worked on IGN stuff, because I worked on that on Tuesday, I figured we could take a look at where it ended up, and what I sent over to them and what we are meeting about. So let's take a look at this stuff. Let's open up the PDF. For IGN E3 Vector Roughs. Okay. I was like, man, did I put the right date on it? I did. So this is what I was mostly working on the stream. And the idea is making a map that chronicles the timeline of gaming from like 1980 to now. And kind of one of the big things about this is whatever style is utilized has to kind of work across a breadth of games. And so I figured a good starting point would be a Sonic Island and a Resident Evil Island, which is also hilarious because Resident Evil and Sonic are my friend Tim Turry's like favorite games. And I think I've been hanging out with him too much, or spend too much time talking to him. But so we did, this is basically what we did on the stream. This is like a slight color variation of that. Mostly just thinking it's a little warmer. It's a little more desaturated. It's a little less saturated. Just the thinking of like, this is going to be on a big wall. So if it's too saturated, it's going to be like maybe overwhelming. I don't know. So I messed with that. And then from there, we'll zoom in a little bit so you can see it a little cleaner. And this isn't, I presented this to them with the addendum that I think utilizing brushstrokes with this vector stuff could be very cool. I don't think it's where it needs to be right now, but it would also take a lot more time, I think, to kind of hone that in. So I presented this to them and said, here's the rough idea. Let me know if you dig it. If you do, we can kind of feel it out some more. If not, no worries. So there's that direction. And then on the last one, I just kind of mashed up. This is like much more gradient heavy. You can see like in the Sonic Island. from this one, which is all flat shapes, to this one, which is a lot of gradients and stuff. Because we heard back from the printer, and the printer said that printing gradients was going to be no problem. So it's a viable option. But also in this one, I incorporated, and this is all obviously just like a rough mock, but an actual line that would go through and connect various elements. Because you're going to have some elements from some games that are on the same landmass. So it needs something to make clear, to like separate those. And so these like little beacons kind of essentially making like a metro map that is also serves as kind of like a literal timeline that would go through and mark these games. And sometimes like some games are just, there's not going to be enough there to draw from to like make a full scene. So, we might just include one element from that game. And in those instances, I thought that we could just like have little offshoots. Bink. And then the last thing I made was this, just because, when you're working on a computer, a little monitor, sometimes, the scale of these things gets away from you and that you don't really know what you're doing. And the other thing with this one is with this line, it can like sometimes go underwater and show things that are beneath the water. It can go in tunnels, it can go around objects. It could just be like a really playful element throughout. And it's red and white, which ties in nicely with IGN's branding. This last one shows an example of, I don't know what the final dimensions are going to be, but if you have a 25-foot wall that's 8 feet tall, and I put this 5'7" woman here, so that you can kind of get a feel for like what this will be like when you're there, and like what I've made, how much of the final illustration that is. So and then the last page says thank you. So that's what we're going to be meeting about today at 3. And once you get that feedback, we can start working on that project again. But in the meantime, work on this. This is a thing that I sketched last night and then was like, I bet that I don't even need multiple colors to do this. I think I can just do it in one color. And so that's basically what I did here. You can see it's all just gradients. It's all just gradients, baby. I also, opened up this because we had started doing this. I don't know if I actually want to pull anything from this. Let's see. Sorry. 3 o'clock my time. Also, hello, Todd. Let's see. Okay, so doing a western scene. Probably don't need this big background. See if I can get the sketch. If I could get the sketch, that would be great. So I have something to reference. And really, these like 4 title card illustrations I'm making, the connective tissue between all of them is that they're title cards, which is nice because that kind of frees me up to do whatever I want, palette wise and everything like that. Because they have a unifying theme that is not style. to prepare for this, let's see, I got a bunch of reference that I'm going to pull into here. Stuff like color palettes and other title cards. I nabbed a bunch of Batman title cards, which aren't exactly the right tone, but still work. I'm also surprised as I go through like the Batman ones, like how many. Look! You see this? See this inspiration? You see this? You see this inspiration between these two? Look at that, huh? Look at that. And so I'm looking at these things. I feel like this is just a crappier image of what I already have. I'm going to throw it away. But also interesting in this stuff because it's like pre-computer. It's like a lot of things are like kind of centered, but not really. Like they're almost centered. And those little like, they're not like screw ups. They're just things that most people would label as being wrong or incorrect now because we have computers that can do all this stuff. But I think there's like, it's kind of endearing. Imperfections, there you go. It's those imperfections that make them endearing and make you know that a person worked on it. I know, I'm sorry, I keep yawning. Which I shouldn't be. It's because I just ate lunch. I just ate a big sandwich. A big turkey sandwich. Yeah, is it? Good! Yeah. That Fast and Furious thing was pretty funny. Okay. It is contagious, and I'm sorry. Let's see. So this one is cold hard cash. Is there a comma in there? Cold hard cash. Like, should it be cold, comma, hard, cash? Or should it all just be one word? That might be it, actually. When I stream, I close the door and the room just becomes stale. But it's too cold for me to open the window, you know? I don't know if this is the name of the blog post, but I need something to put in here just for, just to have something. And these are a bunch of typefaces that I pulled for this one that I didn't use. Cold, hard, and cash. Oh, that's pretty good. Hi, 3 mil. That's how I think. That's how when I see your name, those are the words that are formed. It's not words. It's a number and a word. Anyway. Let's see, cold, hard creativity. Three like E, one like L. So it's Emil. Emil, like the TV chef. I gotta find better music to listen to here. Email. So let's see. This text would be something like, at least if I'm going by the sketch, it would say something like, who does the color profiles? Because on this one, I had color by Technicolor. But who does color profiles online? Would it be like color by Adobe RGB? That's not right. I'm just Googling online color profiles. ICC Profile Inspector. In color management, an ICC profile is a set of data that characterizes a color input or output device or a color space according to the standards promulgated by the International Color Consortium. That's what ICC stands for. So I guess the ICC is a profile, but within that they're, oh my god, look at the verification logo. Look at that. Look at that thing. That's the thing that someone made. I think they are like the color mafia. They're like the digital color mafia, and Pantone is the like real world, like tangible color mafia. Or what's the word? There's like two words. There's like, I don't know. I can't think of it. There's two different types of something. This is this, but not this. There's stuff that's illuminated from the back, and then there's stuff that's just affected by natural light or whatever. So it's like a difference of a light coming through it to making an image, or light bouncing off of it to make an image. It's terrible. Hi, fatty lumps. The color Illuminati. Exactly. The tangible color mafia. Additive and subtractive. I think that's it. Let's see. International color standards. Oh man, look at all these things. Look at all these letters and numbers. This is more difficult than I thought. I'm just going to put I'm just going to put exactly what I have over here for now, and then I can revisit this. Color profiles are complicated. I have a difficult time now. We got like a DSLR, and like I take photos, and then they were like not assigned a color profile, so I have to assign one, and I often forget to assign one, and then the colors look really dull, like not very saturated and a lot darker than I mean for them to. Anyway, it's a whole thing. I'm not going to worry about kerning right now. See, can I shear a live typeface? Is it a big goof? Is it a big goof on my part? I feel like I probably fucked something up. Man, Dylan, I didn't. And it's unfortunate because, like, I just didn't have the time. I just couldn't find a way to make it work. I really wanted to, but it didn't. And I've ultimately resorted to just, I'll just make my own damn Famicom case for myself later. Okay, so we'll just use that as the placeholder here. I've also started to, I don't know if any of you will care about this, but it's interesting to me. It's interesting to me is that I've started making the final versions of all of these bad guys. And part of delivering to them a file that they can actually use is splitting it up into digestible layers. So you have we'll take a look at this one here. Let's see. Casey, you're such a son of a bitch. Go back to accounting. So you have your base color. You have a jaw. What I think of as jaw. The shadow. The highlight. And the eyes. And so what I had to do, because what happened when I made these was that as I was making them, I just kept layering. Like color overlays and multiply layers and like all of these different blend modes to make this. So basically, I rebuilt them from scratch for this and tried my best to emulate it as best I could and came pretty close. But you can see these have many more layers. So you see, pulled that thing apart. It has a lot of different pieces. And what the hell? And the final one has substantially less. And more importantly, does not utilize any color blend modes or anything like that. Like even this is just a gradient that goes from solid color to solid color to recreate the same effect that I was getting from all of these overlay things. So yeah, so basically got rid of this and this and this and consolidated this overlay layer. Well, we split up this overlay layer into the shadow and the highlight. I guess a component system. I think if I'm following you. And yeah, these guys have shields. You can see the shield a little more clearly when it's on a color. But they have like a nice like depth to them, which makes me happy. So yeah, so these are all the pokers I got in the fire right now. A lot of pokers in the fire. Hey Ollie, thanks dude. Hey Double Dip, I missed an influx of peoples. Oh Aaron, thank you for patronizing me. If you're still here, you might not still be here. If you're not, yes you are. No you're not. Yes you are. Thank you Aaron. You'll get your lumpy print. You'll get a lumpy print. Okay. Let's actually start making this cliff stuff here. Let's make this out of lines first, so I'm not... It's much easier to do this when you just make everything a line and don't have to... Yeah, anyway. Otherwise, see, like right now I'm like building this out of lines, and the reason is because if I make it out of shapes, then I have to like make stupid shapes that have a lot of excess information that I'm not going to need, and then like arrange it, and then like by the time, if I want to form this like outer line, by the time I'm done I have all these stupid shapes which are no good. So I'm just going to make it out of lines. I'm sorry Megs. Why are they so bad? Patronize is like the perfect dark word. My patronizers. A supposed act of kindness, but we all know that you feel superior to me. Well, Megs, fortunately for you, not that many people bought those, so you only have like 5 more to do. And we'll remember this next time so that you don't have to cut the cardboard. How's that? Anyone have any big weekend plans? I don't think I'm doing anything, which is lovely. Of course, I always think that I'm not doing anything, and then Meg cons me into something. Zelda, a birthday party, you're in a wedding. This is a good range of stuff that you all doing this weekend. Well, that's awesome. How long was your friend in the Peace Corps? Wow, your son plays lacrosse? I always wanted to play lacrosse, but being in Kentucky, it was not really an option. Although it is going to be nice out this weekend. I might have to clean up the like flower bed thing. Not the flower bed. I don't know. We got plants out front. A bunch of dead shit in it from fall. Should probably go clean it up. See, I told you. I thought that I didn't have any plans, and then Meg's ruined it. Yep, preparing to mulch. That's... How far are you in Death's End, Todd? Without saying it, because you could be further than me at this point. I've been dragging my feet, but I think I'm like 78% or thereabouts. Yeah, it feels good to like clean up the yard. God, Casey. I'll see. You're counting your progression by pages. God. There, just to put your mind at ease, Casey, I will denounce the actions of Bashar al-Assad. Do you feel better now that I've proven to you that I'm not one of these like alt-right asshole streamers that seem to keep showing up more and more lately? People that just play video games this whole time have been racist pricks. Who knew? Where's my stroke panel? Thank you, idiot baby. A lot of like people that have like a successful like gaming streams or YouTube shows kind of just like been casually racist as of late. That's really little to do. It's like no God damn it. I just not got what you're talking. Gross. Casey, I'm so glad you could be here. My IRL stream would be the most boring shit. There are plenty that would argue that my creative stream is boring shit as well, so. Let's see, can I just jack the sky? No, I don't. God, I made things so different. What was I even trying to do in this? There's some gradient stuff happening over here. What is this? What was I doing here? What was happening? What was I making? Oh, maybe I can reuse it here. Beats logo. Oh, good. I'm glad that I can accompany your slideshow. Is anyone here? Let's see. I have a meeting with IGN at 3 over the work that I sent to them yesterday. If anyone was not here at the beginning of the stream that would like to see that presentation, I can blow through it real quick. Since I like the idea of streaming the whole process and letting everyone peek at each step of the process. So let me know if you were not here earlier, but I'd like to see that. Where'd my sketch go? What's happening? What's the deal? Let's see. Where did my sketch go? do an upside down Batman with a negative space. Let's see. Okay, Matt, you want to see it? I'll bring it up in just a sec. Okay. So what I sent to IGN, I'm not going to explain it away like I did earlier, but I'll give you an overview. So I think you all saw this on the stream, or most of this. I chose Sonic and Resident Evil because they're two very tonally different things. So wanted to see if we could accurately represent, or I don't know, justify. Anyways, if we could show both of these in the single style. And I also wanted to mess with the perspective, so like a bunch of elements with like a different perspective. Like you can see the top of this pillar. This is just from straight on, and this is kind of like from a fake side view, just to see if all those elements like worked together. This is a color palette shift. This was a stab at incorporating brushstrokes into it. And this came from, as we got to like the later parts of the map, we talked about like games from this year, like Breath of the Wild and things that might be included in gaming history, kind of roughing them out. And so I was thinking what a roughed out element would look like on this wall. So I thought about someone painting this wall, and then thought about brushstrokes. But this is only like 70% there, and it would need some more love to find the right balance between hard vector shapes and more figurative brushstrokes. And then this is just straight gradients galore. You can see like mostly on the hills and on the beach, and like the way the shallow part of the water fades away around the sides versus this where everything is very hard-edged and solid. And then this plays with the idea of incorporating a like red timeline, since this is literally mapping timeline of gaming history, incorporate an element that'll help lead viewers around. And also the red and white helps to incorporate IGN's branding into the whole image. And it can be like a playful thing in that clouds can sit on top of it. Sometimes it can go underwater. Sometimes it can go around objects, maybe weave in through objects. Yeah, I think it could be a playful element that ties the whole thing together. And then this is just a simple mock-up, so that we're keeping in mind the scale of everything. So it's an 8 by 20 foot wall with a 5 by 7 person there. And yeah, so that's what I sent over yesterday, and then we'll be meeting with them at 3 in 45 minutes. Hey, no problem, Matt. Yeah, I guess Tails did have like an extra tail, right? Miles Prower is his proper name. Thank you very much. Don't you forget it. All right, I can't listen to rap while I work. It's just like people talking in my head, and I can't hear myself. Yeah, and it's different. Like, my presentations change a lot from client to client. Well, there, Megs, you got learnt. You just got Sonic learnt. My nose itches. I have a scratchy nose. My presentations change a lot from client to client. IGN and we've done a lot of work together on their Snapchat channel and last year's E3 booth. And so we're pretty comfortable with each other. And so I usually just send them quick PDFs of the work and put explanations in line in email. Some people, I put the explanations into the PDF, but it kind of takes a little while longer to like format that stuff and everything. So if I don't need to, I try to avoid it, just because it eats up time that I could be spending making things rather than prepping a presentation. But sometimes people like things presented like go away for a week and then come back with a fully fleshed out presentation. And so that's what I'll give them if that's how they prefer to work. Yeah, I change it up a lot. I have no like standard format because sometimes those like big presentations can be totally overkill for some people. Overkill and like overwhelming. Oh man, could I have like the landscape kind of hug the bottom, at least run parallel with the bottom of the type. Oh man, there's oh man, it's really good. I do not know what Mr. Hatfield is like in real life. I made an avatar for him for IGN's. Oh, that's another project that I did for IGN was their Comic-Con stuff. Forgot about that. All their Comic-Con coverage, I made a bunch of little avatars. So where's his avatar? There he is. There's Mr. Hatfield. Just for you, Casey. Don't know Naomi either. And I know that you know that I don't. You're just being a turd. Casey, please go to the Dota 2 International. Please come with me. I don't want to go by myself, please. Please. Can we make Brian go this year too? now that he's finished with med school, and he can just ignore those children patients of his and just come hang out with us at a video game tournament. What's this typeface? Cubano. I think that's a type. Crap. Type co-op? Lost type co-op? I think it's a lost type co-op thing. Being a doctor does seem dumb. Also, he chose to be the poorest doctor. What's the point of even being a doctor if you're not going to make a lot of money doing it? Helping people just seems like a waste of time if there's no money in it for you. These are the reasons that I shouldn't have a stream, is because you joke around with stuff like this, and then like that's the moment where one person who's never watched the stream before comes in and sees it, and then it's like designer Alex Grinling says helping people isn't worth it unless you make money doing it. Unless they have something else to be mad about that day, in which case they won't do that. But if they don't have anything else to be outraged about, then it's sad because it's like, you know, you're being facetious, but it seems like so many people have gone into politics with views like that. I think it might help my future political campaign, the way things are going. I'm running on the promise that we'll just throw all the poor people in the furnace. The end. We're not going to talk about politics a big degree, but the Flynn shit that has been happening in the last 24 hours is insane to me. It's insane to me. I think that if you clip it, I think I have the power to delete the clip. Maybe? I don't know. Do I? Let's do some investigative journalism here. Casey? Oh no. I can't delete things, I don't think. Oh wait, I can. Yes, I can. I have the power. You don't know what it means. I appreciate that honesty. Yep. Matt, that was you. That was you. I thought it was Casey. I thought it was Casey's antics. Yeah, these are cartoon title cards for a blog post that we wrote, and part of the dealio is they ask you to make illustrations to coincide, and so I use a Wile E. Coyote analogy and the start, and comparing being self-employed to having just run off that cliff. So, yeah, I'm doing a series of title cards. Let's split this thing up into foreground, no, we can just leave that there, and midground. Oh God, that analogy works way too well. Adobe being Acme, making things that always seem useful but end up sabotaging Wile E. Coyote. Oh God, it works. It's too real. It's too real. Let's see. You gotta be careful not to alter the illustration too much to fit the type. In fact, it'd probably be better if I just turn the type off, but just because this type is not final. And I'll end up adjusting my illustration to fit placeholder type, and then go to fix the type and be like, oh no, I have to redo parts of the illustration. Never heard Wile E. Coyote described as a dipshit before. It's pretty good. Choosing the right blue for skies is always a tightrope. Actually, what did I do for? Let's see, did like a little sunset ditty. Yeah, Megs, I didn't really like opera either. And then I read that opera is getting sold to the Chinese companies, so their VPN might be for naught. There is supposed to be a total solar eclipse, and it's supposed to go right over the town that I went to college in, and just most of Kentucky. You're not the first person to suggest Viper, Matt. Someone else did. Sorry, I'm looking at Steam. It said that items on my wish list went on sale. But none of the things that I cared about, as it turns out. Like, I've talked about going back to Kentucky to see it, but I don't know if I'm like that committed to going back to Kentucky. I don't know if I can. I only get to go so many places, and half of the places I go are Kentucky. Yes, I agree, Megs. That's fair. You are working quite late. Can I just join all these shapes? I'll copy them, just in case. Just so I have them, for posterity's sake. God, I gotta wake up. I got this meeting. I can't just be like yawning all through this meeting. Yeah, this is a mess right now. It's a mess of colors. Let's see here. God, did they make the coexist bumper sticker for the Google Doodle? Okay. Okay. Let's see. Western. What am I looking up? Sunset. Like, I don't want it to be too silhouette-y, which is what most of this stuff's going to be. Look at this. Is that an illustration? Yeah. Let's see. Majester, I'm gonna punch you. I'm gonna fly to the Netherlands and punch you. Fuck. That's the most alt-right thing I could do. No, it isn't. No, not if you're punching an alt-right person, which I don't think you are. Megs, would you drink any more coffee if I made coffee? Do not throw the cats in this room. Well, that's kind of nice. All control, right? Oh, I do have bananas to eat. I'm going to get a banana. I also need some water. Maybe banana? No. What?
I need water.
I did not know you would come upstairs. We need some sort of early warning system so you can stop scaring the shit out of me while I'm streaming. What? Do we need customs
Do
forms?
you have any customs forms?
Yeah, hold on. Just rate my...
I need a closet. I'm in pajamas. I'm not coming in there.
They're just like loose-fitting clothes.
Dress for the stream.
Dress for the stream.
Like loose fitting.
Pajamas are just loose-fitting clothes. It's fine.
Tell me not pink.
Like boxers are just like thin shorts. I don't know if we have customs forms. Shut up, Rocco. I don't know if we have customs forms. Might have to get some. No, because remember, because last time I went in, they were like, you could do these online, you know. They were real dickheads about it. And then I did it online, and I messed up something because they don't give good instructions. And then I brought them in, and they're like, you did these wrong. Like, what do you want from me?
The people at the post office really like me. So
They fucking hate me.
they love me.
I like go out of my way. Maybe I go too far out of my way to be nice. Maybe it's like when Holly thought that Kevin was handicapped in the office.
Yeah, you don't treat them like they're handicapped. You just treat them like they're people.
That's what I do, and they hate me. I don't know what. They hate me.
I'm so sleepy.
Don't fall asleep on my door frame. Go,
I'll
yeah.
try to find it online.
Yeah, you can find it online.
Stamps.com does it, but
You don't trust it?
no, I don't want to use our Lunar Saloon funds for your personal stuff.
Oh, yeah, that makes sense. Hey, would you be interested in making some coffee?
Oh, I need water.
Duh. You can drink water and coffee. That's why you have two hands, woman.
It's too much.
Well, I might make some coffee. Oh yeah, I'm streaming.
Yes. Right downstairs. Okay.
Okay. Hello, I'm back. I'm back. I'm streaming. What were we doing? Should we make Megs wear a bell around so she can't sneak up on me? Oh, God. Yeah, coffee does have water in it. All right. Well, let's say that we got the building blocks of something. We built the blocks. We've assembled some blocks of a title card here. and now I need to make coffee, and the meeting is in 12 minutes. So I don't have time to stream up until the end if I want to make coffee. So I think that, unfortunately, we have to end this stream now. Or fortunately, depending on your outlook at it. If nothing else, you got some clothing words of wisdom, and that pajamas are loose-fitting clothes, and boxers are just thin shorts. No, this isn't procrastinating the IGN stuff. I have a meeting with IGN at 3, so I don't have any IGN work to do right now. All right, so we're going to end it there. We'll be back on Tuesday, as per the usual, and we'll have feedback from IGN. I'll have probably already worked on it some on Monday, so we'll be in a whole new spot when we start the IGN project. Last warning, if you want the lumpy print for Patreon, you have to subscribe to the Patreon today. If I were smarter, I would have the lumpy print up here to show you, but alas, I am not a smart man. I can show it to you on Twitter. I'll show it to you on Twitter. But yeah, you have to sign up today if you want the lumpy print, and if not, forever hold your peace, because it's Patreon exclusive and it just will go away. It'll die after tomorrow, turn into a pumpkin. So thanks everyone for hanging out. I'll see you back here on Tuesday, and we'll be kicking on some IGN stuff again then. So have a great weekend. I will see you next week. All right, I need to stop streaming.